Well, the weekend is almost here. It's Friday. Take two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Jerry Usher with Debbie Georgiani, who is still on location at The Rock, AM 1260 in Cleveland, finishing up their Spirit Drive today. Debbie, you can fill us in on how that's going in just a minute, but welcome to our Friday broadcast as we look forward to a weekend.
Well, yeah, I would say that the majority of folks, they have some kind of weekend that they spend, whether your weekend is maybe in the middle of the week, but let's just say, just for this conversation that we're going to have and the calls that are going to come in, let's just say that's a Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, okay? That's the weekend, all right? That we know of out there, where everybody says, thank goodness it's Friday, right? Well, we want to know, what do you love about the weekend? What is the first thing you think about when you think about your weekend? Okay, and Jerry and I are very passionate about this. We're very committed to Christian life skills and also the power of words and how important that is and how it can help us to choose the right words with our spiritual growth. Okay, so we always weave it into our spirituality. You know, some folks, some people have said, well, is Take Two more of like a conversation and just you're talking about issues, or does it have a catechetical component? It absolutely has a catechetical component. And so we always make sure we weave that in and we learn and grow and get a little bit closer to God. So we want to know, what do you love about the weekend and what's the first thing you think of? So Jerry, I'll ask you that question. What's the first thing you think of when you think about your weekend?
Well, the first thing I just thought of right now is giving the phone number, if you don't mind.
Okay, that's what Jerry thinks about.
833-288-EWTN. Call and weigh in on what weekends mean to you as you anticipate them and how you spend your time and how you, of course, keep your faith, as a part of everything that you do. 833-288-3986. Phone lines are open right now. I was thinking a lot about this, Debbie, and you know what? You know where my mind went? My mind went back to when I was growing up, and weekends were very hard for me. And I think it was because of the family situation, the broken family situation. And people know I've had a little bit of depression, and I look back and I think there were times even in high school when I was going through that. And I would kind of talk to my brother after a weekend, on Sunday night. I was so looking forward to going back to school. And I think maybe a lot of people have that situation as well, because I think, the weekday routine kept me busy, kept me occupied, kept my attention focused on other things. But, nowadays, that's not the case for me anymore, thank God. But it depends on the time of the year. This time of year, I'll obviously look forward to some football games and maybe an hour extra sleep in the morning, and certainly going to Mass and spending my holy hours and doing things like that, but also just, getting out, going to the gym, having a little extra time maybe to do those things that you couldn't do during the week. And I have to be honest, my weekly pilgrimage to Costco is usually on Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
So,
is it crowded on Sundays?
Yeah, oh yeah, especially this time of year. Yeah, in the summer when it's 120 degrees, nobody else is there. How about you?
Okay, well, I'll give the number again so we can fill up the phone lines at 833-288-3986. We want to know, what are your first thoughts about your weekend? It's very important. You'll see how we'll weave this into our spirituality. Well, now you're taking me back to my childhood. Jerry, I didn't have a Leave It to Beaver childhood either, and but the one thing that I loved about the weekends when I was a child is that we all went to church, obviously, and we always went out for a pancake breakfast. We always went out for breakfast, and I always remember that. And to this day, I love breakfast. It's my favorite. I just love it, especially Sunday breakfast. But now, and those of you who are Italian, you can relate to this. Sundays are a big day for family feasts and cooking all day long and having the sauce going early on in the morning, all afternoon, and you're smelling everything like meatballs and everything. And then you have this great Italian dinner Sunday night. It's true, Jerry. It's true. We're all about food, family, and fun. And
I can smell it right now.
I know, it's so good. It's so good when it's just like simmering on the stove. Anyway, but my first thoughts now is always when we're going to go to Mass. That's my first thought. And the reason being is because sometimes, with travel and stuff, I don't necessarily get to go to my home parish all the time. So I'm always thinking, what parish, are we going to? Where are we going? Especially if I'm flying out somewhere or doing something like that. So that's my first thought. But I wanted to share that, Jerry, and you brought that up, and I think it's really important because so many times we just naturally say we have to go to Mass, right? But it really is, we get to go to Mass. We get to go to Mass. Think about that, folks. It's choose the words that are better, that are going to reflect really what we should be feeling and thinking as Catholic Christians. So, my first thoughts are, I get to go to Mass. What time? And then we get to eat. That's always a good thing. Okay, so we want to hear from you. It's Friday. So what do you love about the weekends? What are your first thoughts? Maybe you don't like the weekends. You want to talk about that as well. We need to hear from you. Don't get started with your weekend yet. Call us, 833-288-EWTN.
Yeah, a couple other things to think about. If your weekend is not the Saturday, Sunday type of weekend, maybe you work over the weekend because you just have to because of your profession or whatever. Maybe you've got a midweek weekend. You can still weigh in on this as well, even if your weekend doesn't fall on a Saturday or a Sunday. You may look forward to things with your kids, obviously hobbies, sports, activities. Maybe you're in a situation where you've separated from your spouse and, you get to see the kids, on the weekends or every other weekend or something. Maybe that's something you look forward to, and that just really is a bright spot for you. So whatever it is, let's talk about it. 833-288-3986. And Debbie, a couple things I know you wanted to take care of before we get to the phone calls.
But I'm wondering, Jerry, how much time do I have? Because this one story, I can share one thing, but this one story I want to share with our listeners, I just think it's so us at Take Two with Guardian Angels, and I want to share that. But what I do want to also share, and I know we've got some promos coming up about this to affirm that and let people know, but don't forget to go to jerryanddebbie.com, jerryanddebbie.com, because October 15th, we have Father Donald Calloway talking about the consecration to St. Joseph, his new book, and of course the Rosary, this is Rosary Month. It's a free webinar for you. We're doing this because we don't really have guests on Take Two anymore because you drive the show. It's caller driven. You drive the show. So we have these webinars to take that place, and Father Donald Calloway will be with us October 15th. I'm excited about it, Jerry. I can't wait. I got a lot of friends who signed up already.
Well, I'm looking so forward to hearing what he says about the importance of this new movement, if you can call it that, to consecrate ourselves, our nation, and our church to St. Joseph. So that's October 15th with Father Donald Calloway. I'm Jerry Usher.
And I'm Debbie Georgiani.
You're not going to want to miss the next free Jerry and Debbie live webinar with Father Donald Calloway, scheduled for Tuesday, October 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. Father Calloway will share his amazing insights into the Holy Rosary, and we'll also discuss his new global movement to encourage us all to consecrate ourselves to St. Joseph. Remember, our webinars are absolutely free, and you have to register online at jerryanddebbie.com.
Hi, this is Catherine Hedro. Next time on EWTN Pro-Life Weekly, David Daleiden tells us about his recent court hearings. And we speak with Indiana Representative Jackie Walorski about her investigation into a former abortionist. Stay on top of the pro-life movement every week with EWTN Pro-Life Weekly, Sunday at 10 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Eastern, only on EWTN Radio.
Now, not only can you watch EWTN anywhere but anytime with EWTN On Demand. Get on-demand access to more than 12,000 EWTN programs, including live shows and specials, all in one place, all free. Just go to EWTN.com/on-demand. There's nothing to fill out, no memberships required, and no fees to pay. All you need is an internet connection, and you're good to go. EWTN On Demand. Fast, easy, and free.
Thanks for tuning in to your show. It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio. The show team in place today, Rich, Jeff, Ryan, and we appreciate all that they do and the affiliates carrying the program. And boy, oh boy, speaking of the weekends, another great program offering on EWTN, most of these same stations, Debbie, is Word on Fire. Bishop Robert Barron's great ministry. Word on Fire airs on most of these same EWTN stations Sunday afternoon at 4 Eastern Time. So, folks, make a note of that and plan to tune in. What a great way to spend a little time on your Sunday afternoon, Debbie, just relaxing, maybe after a busy weekend.
Yeah, another thing to do on the weekends. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love Bishop Barron. Everything he does is just, it's very well done. Jerry, okay, so I want to share this story just because our listeners know how committed I am to the Guardian Angels, and this happened this morning here at AM 1260 The Rock in Cleveland. You know I'm here for the pledge drive, and it's the final day, final hours, and they have a very limited amount of beautifully done icons of St. Michael and Guardian Angel icons, and because the theme is angels and saints. And by the way, folks, real quickly, I'm going to go quickly, and I'm going to try really hard not to cry because I was bawling before the show started. So I'm going to try really hard. So I'll go quick. This way I won't cry. It's just beautiful. And by the way, folks, it's pledge drive season. So so many local affiliates right now are having their pledge drives. When they ask you to fund your local listening area, please do so generously. Lives are being changed and people are listening. There's big work being done through Catholic radio in the local areas. So please support it, and also remember EWTN. Okay, so anyway, Jerry, we're down to a couple icons left, and the Guardian Angel icons are left. And so this morning when I was praying, getting ready at the hotel, I was praying, and clearly it came through prayer that I felt like God said that whoever gets one of the Guardian Angel icons, there's a reason, and I knew it was going to be a big reason, but I didn't know it was going to be this big. So anyway, I was in the call center room, and I happened to be walking past, and I heard one of the volunteers taking a call from a gentleman who wants to remain anonymous, and I jumped on the phone because when I heard the story, I had to speak to this person. He ministers with the Missionaries of Charity, Mother Teresa's sisters in India, and he's going to India in January. And folks, he wanted to remain anonymous, but please keep him for safe travels because he's carrying with him. He donated to the station, The Rock. He's carrying with him one of the icons, and it's the Guardian Angel icon. Do you know why, Jerry? Because he brings it. He brings it to India where the sisters are, where children, so many children are living in just really hard conditions. They have disabilities, all sorts of things. And it just what they're living through and living with. When he was telling me, it was making my heart hurt and my stomach was hurting. Well, the reason why he's bringing this icon, Jerry, and he's getting it, is he just wants to let the children know that they have their guardian angel with them while they're going through this.
How beautiful.
Is that amazing, Jerry?
Yeah.
All these children. So, folks, please pray for this wonderful gentleman who's doing this great ministry work. He's taking so much comfort to these children who are having very difficult lives. Anyway, it was a miracle.
You are a mess.
I'm a mess. I know.
Well, it just shows your beautiful heart, Deb, and thank you for sharing that. That is a great inspiration to all of us. And just as Debbie would always say, our guardian angels can not only help us, but we can invite them and ask them to go to other people's guardian angels. So let's remember that. Send your guardian angel to the guardian angel of someone who's suffering somewhere, and together maybe they can comfort them. And by the way, real quick before we go to, were you finished, Deb? We got an email that I wanted to share.
I'm trying to dry up the tears. You go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I knew about this because I picked up a flyer about it in my parish yesterday. But Kelly, one of our great listeners, Kelly, just said, you want to remind people of Our Lady of Fatima public rosary rallies tomorrow in local areas. She says, we must show up. There will be 20,000 across the USA, and I presume that means 20,000 different rallies around the United States. So, folks, check with your parish, check with your friends, your Marian devotees. You should be a Marian devotee yourself. We all should love our Blessed Mother, but Sunday is the actual anniversary of the final Fatima apparition, but it's being done on Saturday. Our Lady of Fatima public rosary rallies all over the U.S. and local areas. It won't take long. It's usually around noon or sometime like that, maybe early afternoon. So check with your parish, see if there's one in your area, and try to get out there. And Kelly, thank you for that great reminder. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you so much, Kelly. Okay, we're talking about weekends today. What do you think of first? And we're going to go to who's first up, Carol in Michigan, Sirius XM 130, first time caller. You get the virtual bell. Carol, thank you for calling and thank you for waiting and welcome to your show, Take Two.
How you guys doing? Thank you for having me on.
You bet. We're doing fine, Carol. Thanks for calling.
Okay, so what I look forward to the weekend, I really look forward to Saturday morning mass. It's a different kind of group for Saturday morning than the usual weekday group. These people are really dedicated. It's usually pretty small, and it's just so quiet and quaint and beautiful, and just really gets me every weekend. And when we're out of town, I miss it. I always look to see if I could find a place somewhere close, wherever we're traveling. But I don't. We're lucky. I'm lucky to live in a place where I have more than one opportunity to go to Saturday morning mass.
You are blessed to have that, Carol. We all of us who have access to that really should consider that. Many of us cannot go to weekday mass. I try to when I can, most days, but a lot of people who work and just have other circumstances can't go to weekday mass, even though they might like to. But I agree with you, Carol, when the rest of the world is sleeping in after a wild Friday night, or they're getting up and early to get off to errands and activities, maybe with the kids and all of that. It's just a great blessing. What I try and do is either before or after Saturday morning mass in my parish, we have an adoration chapel, Padre Pio adoration chapel. I might mention, Debbie, I know you'd like that. And just to spend maybe an hour of a holy hour before or after as well. And it really is, Carol, it's just a peaceful time. It's a great way, actually, Debbie, to start the weekend, because I'm sure, Carol, you probably got a million things you do after that, but isn't that a great way just to kind of get started on a real good, solid spiritual note, Carol?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and I really miss it when I miss it.
Right, right. Well, Carol, I'm so glad that you chose the word dedicated, because I've always said this, working in the parish level for over 25 years, I've always said this. I love dedicated daily mass goers, but those that go on Saturday morning and Monday morning are especially dedicated. You know where I'm going with this, Carol? Right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's a small, tight-knit group. They love so deeply their faith. They'll do anything for the parish. I mean, it's incredible. And I always used to say this, Jerry. I used to say to our pastor, you need to give like a special award or something to the Saturday mass goers and the Monday mass goers. I've always said that. It's so interesting that you brought that up. Huh?
What was that, Carol?
I said we're already getting our reward.
True.
Right.
You're right. Beautiful, Carol.
So
that is beautiful.
Thank you for everything you've done.
Oh, thank you.
You do.
Thank
I
you.
love listening to the show.
Oh, thank you. Have a blessed weekend. It is upon us. Thank you, Carol, for your call. Good way to get started.
Yes, thank you. And I have a quick praise report. I know I'm kind of hogging the mics right now on Friday, but you know what? When these praise reports come in, and we've got to just praise God. And by the way, we were talking about guardian angels. Our best of is our guardian angel show of the action of our guardian angels in our lives. That's our best of on Saturday. And Monday, we're going to be doing a 911 urgent prayer request. 911 urgent that you have, God forbid something comes up over the weekend or something like that, or if you have something that is just you really got to make sure we storm heaven quickly. We're going to have a 911 urgent prayer request show, and we're going to start that on a regular basis if we can. But Jerry, talking about prayer requests, with that, comes praise God's. And I just want to thank the Take Two family. I know so many of you were helping our family and my friend Debbie pray for her son-in-law, my goddaughter's husband. We were praying that he passed the Arizona State Bar exam, and we just found out this morning that he passed. So praise be to God. Mm-hmm.
Congratulate them when you get a chance.
Yeah, I sure will, Jerry. And you know Debbie very well, and her daughter Katie and Jason, who passed the bar. That is awesome.
All right, talking about what is special about the weekend for you, 833-288-3986. To our friend Ron in Los Angeles next. Ron, thanks for holding on there, and welcome back into the program. How are you, brother?
Alive and kicking, and grateful that I made it to 59 yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Happy birthday.
birthday.
Thank you, and I'm very grateful to the prayers for both the two of you and for the Take Two family who've helped me stay the course and deal with everything I got to deal with on my end, both physically and spiritually. But,
always, Ron. We're always praying for you. Absolutely.
Well, Wednesday night I had a cardiac issue that occurred that I wasn't sure I was going to actually make it for the next morning. It's how serious it was becoming.
Oh, no.
However, but God said I'm still here, so I am here to say thanks be to God that I am, and I can carry on with the mission I've got at hand. In the meantime, with the topic of today relating to the weekend issues, when I was working stiff and able to still drive and so forth, what I looked forward to the most on the weekend, being self-employed, was that I could serve at the altar in my home parish. And so I was right there at the altar at Mass as a server sacristan, which allowed me two things. One, to be that close to our Lord during the Mass, and at the same time, when the circumstances were there to be witnessed, I was just that, a witness to trying to be faithful and maybe some inspiration for other children who had some consideration of being a server and be that close at the altar as well.
Well, Ron, yeah, as well as we know you, I know that one of the things you deal with right now is, like you said, when you were working, and you mentioned also when you were driving, and you're doing neither of those. So you're working some right now, but not driving. And I know that, when we have corresponded, I can feel your heart, how much you miss being able to attend Mass physically. And I know that you have a priest, thank God, who brings you the sacraments, the Eucharist and confession when you need it. But I'm sure that's a hole in your heart, Ron, that you spent those many years serving at Mass on the weekends, and now, obviously, that has been taken up by other people who I'm sure are doing a great job. But God bless you, Ron, for all the years that you did that. And right now, in this situation, even though you can't physically do it, Debbie, Ron can take this and make it a spiritual offering to the Lord. In fact, everything that you're going through, Ron, and we know that you do that. You're a great offerer, if I can put it that way. Don't you think so, Deb? Yeah.
Yeah, Ron, you have such a giving heart, and you care about other souls. It's very obvious. And so I don't believe that, all of this that you're going through, I think it has, I personally believe if we keep that frame of mind, of what we have to go through and how that could help other souls, I think it's going to have eternal benefits. I really do, Ron, for you and for all of us who, all of us that could possibly be recipients of that. I don't know, Jerry. There's so much. I'm learning more and more about redemptive suffering. It's a big topic right now, and I just think it's something that we all need to kind of get ourselves, educated about and understand, and so that we're able to, if and when it happens, to embrace it.
Yeah, for sure.
Deb and Jerry, when it comes to having a title of a suffering servant, which I try to keep in mind for my current condition of sorts, is that I may not ever understand why I'm going through what I'm doing physically, especially the spiritual battles I'm going through. All I know is that if I can just stay the course, stay focused, that I am a child of God, and that whatever I'm dealing with, that if God is allowing me to go through this, there's a purpose. I may never see it until I'm called home.
Yep, and that's a great perspective, Ron, to look at it through an eternal lens. Because really, every one of us should be looking at everything through that lens, Ron. And you've got unique opportunities to do that maybe some of us don't have as often as you do. But thanks be to God, a lot of things that you've been through, could have turned people away, soured you on God and your faith and so forth. But you have indeed, as you said, embraced that and made it redemptive. So thank you, Ron, for your call and always for your prayers. And please, as Debbie said, be assured that you are always in our prayers as well. We appreciate that. Rob and Karen and Dan, you are our next caller, so please don't go anywhere. I wanted to, Debbie, if I may, read Nancy's comment. Nancy is watching on EWTN Catholic Radio Facebook page. Hi, Nancy. She says, weekends are for yard sales, all capital letters, yard sales, 3 exclamation marks. But listen, she says, I have found many holy items at estate sales that the children did not know what they had. Relics, statues, rosaries. Some I have given to my parish. You never know what people have when you go to one. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, no, it's very true. I actually have a friend that does that. She goes around Saturday mornings to garage sales, and she picks up the most incredible inspirational art. And like you said, sacramentals, relics, things. It's incredible. It's a gold mine, a spiritual gold mine of treasures, that people don't even know what they have. You're right. And they have these precious jewels and they don't even know it.
We're also streaming the video on YouTube, so hello to Michael and all those watching on YouTube. And Michael says, my weekend is basically shopping for food on Saturday, then choir practice, then Mass.
Oh, I love
It's great
choir.
that you're in the choir, yeah.
Yeah, I love choir practice. I love that. Wow. Okay, so this is your show, Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We want to hear from you. We're talking about what do you think of first when you think about your weekend? We want to know. We're interested. We care. 833-288-3986. When we come back, we're going back to the phones.
Raymond Arroyo.
We need EWTN radio for the reason that Mother Angelica founded this enterprise. She saw this as a holistic approach, reaching the whole person, bringing them truth and life.
The leading Catholic voices are on EWTN radio.
You know what? Life isn't fair. God isn't fair. Fairness would be if he let us go to hell because he made us for himself, we rejected him, and we got what we deserved. Fairness would be if there was no hope for heaven. No forgiveness. That would be fair. That would be just. Fairness in your life would be if someone offends you and you hold it over their heads for the rest of their lives and never forget it and never move on. Fairness would be when you judge people and you write them off based on a comment they made or who they voted for because you got them entirely figured out. You pegged them. Fairness makes us miserable. The central image of our faith is a man dying on a cross who is completely innocent for your sins. The central image of our faith, thank God, isn't fairness, it's mercy. And that's who God is calling you to be merciful just as he is merciful. Send us a message at connect@reallifecatholic.com. This is Chris Stefanik from reallifecatholic.com on EWTN Radio.
The wisdom of Mother Angelica.
I have a very hard time sometimes, and I'm so frustrated. I mean, frustrated. Somebody says, how'd you do all this, Mother? I say, I didn't. And they look at me, The Lord did. God does everything. Without me, he said, you do nothing.
For more information on Mother Angelica, visit Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com.
Monday on More to Life, pushing back.
Are your kids struggling with doubts about God, faith, or church? We're going to help you respond gracefully.
Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio. It is your show, and before you head into the weekend, we're asking you typically as you go into a weekend, you move through the week, and as you look forward to a weekend, whether it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend, or a Wednesday, Thursday weekend, your weekend maybe during the week, what do you anticipate on the weekends? What excites you? What kind of obligations might you have? How do you keep your faith life, first and foremost in everything that you do, especially as you're running around sometimes with kids and so forth? 833-288-3986 is the number to get you on the program. And Debbie, you were talking about you love people who go to Mass on, they're special people who go to Mass on Saturdays and Mondays. I would say most daily Mass goers probably go on Saturdays as well. Bill in Macomb, Mississippi just called, and he said he had to get off the phone, but he said he loves going to Saturday and Monday morning Masses, sandwiched around Sunday. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. And I would like, if I was going to give them an award, I like the word dedication because it's true dedication. I just love that. I just think it's great. Hey, wait a minute. We lost somebody. Somebody dropped off. Was that Rob from Memphis, Tennessee?
I
Rob,
believe
if you're
so, yeah.
okay, Rob, if you want to get back on the show, you have plenty of time. Call back. We miss you. And here's the number you can call. It's 833-288-3986. But let's move along to Karen, and Karen is in Toledo, Ohio, on Annunciation Radio. Karen, I'll be at your station for your pledge drive in November. Welcome to Take Two.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, and it's a pleasure. I'm calling because our weekend, as growing up as a child, the big thing to do was on Saturday or Sunday morning, you'd go to Mass, and then we'd go to Grandma's in the morning for breakfast, and then we'd go to the other grandma's in the afternoon or in the evening for dinner. So now that I'm mom and my children are growing or young adults, we still have that big Sunday dinner. You know, we go to Mass in the morning, we usually have breakfast, and then we have a big Sunday dinner. And Sunday dinner always involves either my parents or my in-laws, somebody comes over, and we have a big family dinner. And it's just, to me, it's just the norm. It's just what we do. But then I find that some people just don't, it's not the norm for everybody. And so it's very special for us. And then, of course, like Jerry, you got to go to Costco and you got to watch football on Saturday. So, anyways, but that is our Sunday. It just always involves dinner, a big family dinner. And you're right, you got that beautiful smell all through the house, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. And Karen, just out of curiosity, because I just know it because I'm 100% Italian, and so for us, it's an Italian kind of tradition. But I know it's in other ethnicities as well. So, are you Italian heritage or no?
My husband is,
okay.
And so dinners just revolve around all sorts of good foods.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I love that.
A lot of times you have the pasta going, and we make the homemade pasta, make your homemade breads, and so it's just all kinds of food. Or my husband's grilling, and we're making so it just really revolves around a lot of different stuff. But it's always having that family together.
Right. Well, Karen, may I say? Yeah. May I say something real quickly? Because, as folks, when we were growing up, we had our grandparents down the street sometimes, and, parents and cousins and this and that all in the same town, right? Well, it's not like that. Right. Yeah, it's not like that anymore. You have, my family is spread out all over the country. And Jerry just wrote over as you were speaking, Karen, he said, what a great tradition. And it truly is. But I will tell you that tradition is being resurrected in a very unique way. I have a lot of friends who have moved from New Jersey to Arizona, and they miss that tradition. And so they've resurrected it, and so they have a bunch of friends over, and they've tried to bring that family traditional Sunday dinner atmosphere back, now where they live. And I think it's beautiful, and I can't wait. I mean, I would love, if God willing, if the travel slows down just a bit, I want to bring that back. I love the Sunday dinners. I've always loved that. Jerry, did you ever do that in your family? You're not Italian background, so I'm curious because aren't you? Do you have a mixture of a lot of backgrounds, right?
Yeah. In fact, I'm kind of ashamed and embarrassed to say I don't really even know what all goes into me as far as ethnicities.
Okay.
But yeah, we always had Sunday dinner, but it wasn't a big to-do, and we were not near, like you said, we weren't near extended family or grandparents. In fact, all of my grandparents died when I was rather pretty young.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
So when I hear you talk and we hear Karen talk about these things, I think there's a certain attraction to these sorts of family keeping family traditions together and important in meals and supporting family and loving family and all of that. Even for those of us like myself who didn't really experience this growing up, there's a certain attraction to it. You can resonate with it. It's almost like I find myself saying, oh, I want that, and even though I never had it. So Karen, like you and Debbie and those of you who had it or do have it, I know you. I know that you really appreciate what you have in those family gatherings.
Yep, absolutely.
Great.
It's beautiful. You eat a lot. You eat a lot, but you also have a lot of fun, and it's just something to look forward to. And especially when you can start it off with mass, I just think that's the best. It's great. And there's something about going to Sunday mass too, because the Saturday vigil, that's great as well. But what I'm saying is the Sunday, I don't know, it's a beautiful Sunday day, the whole day, right, Karen?
You bet it is, absolutely. And I sing in the choir, so I've got to be there on Sunday for Mass. And,
Excellent, excellent.
And it's a joy. It's the greatest joy.
Yep.
One other quick thing, Karen, if you don't mind, if I ask you, this is about way more than food, right? This is about the intergenerational interaction. It's about wisdom being handed down. It's about gratitude being passed up, to those who have given and sacrificed themselves for us. This includes so many beautiful, beautiful things more than just food, wouldn't you say, Karen?
Absolutely. It's not just sitting down and eating. It's sitting down and talking and laughing and having
Learning.
your grandparents and being able to just sit and laugh. I mean, we've had more conversations at the dinner table than just laughed and had a good time. And it's a lot of work at times to get everything going. And sometimes I think, geez, I spend the whole day in the kitchen. But you know what? When you sit down and everybody's there, it's just a joy.
Well, and I don't want to cry because I don't know why I've been so emotional the past couple months. I think I'm just getting older. So I'm sorry, folks. It's just the way I am now. But Karen, when my mom was in the memory care facility for the assisted living memory care portion, I saw so many people, so many beautiful seniors waiting on Sunday for their loved ones to come and visit. And you can see that they had this light in their eyes. They were so excited because and I used to say to my mom, I wonder if they're remembering, their Sunday dinners that they had with family. And it makes me realize so much how, it is important, Jerry, like you said, a handing down of wisdom and the beautiful love and respect that we're showing for the whole entire extended family. And the kids benefit greatly, but the elderly, they benefit because sometimes they're forgotten. Right, Karen?
Yes, and we also benefit from the memories, because we know that our parents aren't going to be here forever. So we benefit from having those memories and that time, because unfortunately we don't always make time, and just to make that little bit of time it is just a wonderful thing to be able to remember. Because I remember as a kid, like I said, going to my grandmother's homes, and just I remember those days, and I want my kids to remember that, and I want them to have those memories of their grandparents and to be able to pass that on. So I want to be the grandma someday going, oh, yeah, I'm coming to your house for Sunday dinner, and being able to enjoy that.
You will have earned it. You will have earned it very, 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 very well by that point. So thank you, Karen, for your call to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We're so grateful to hear from you. And we do have a line open at 833-288-3986 talking about the weekend. It is Friday, so the traditional weekend, of course, at this point in history is Saturday, Sunday. Yours may be during the weekdays. But what is special about it? What is the first thing you think about when you go into the weekends? What are those, can't miss things that you, your family, your friends, just, try and fit into the weekend, especially maybe some leisure, getting out in nature or doing something, physically or something health-wise. 833-288-3986.
I just want to say real quickly, Kathleen, you sent a beautiful email about guardian angels and your precious son. I cannot even read it on the air. I'm going to read it afterwards because I'll be just a mess. I won't be able to finish this show.
I was going to, if you want me to.
Okay, yeah, if you can, Jerry. Kathleen, you're just a beautiful soul. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, for those who just tuned in, Debbie shared a beautiful guardian angel story that something occurred where she is at the Rock in Cleveland for their spirit drive, their fun drive. And Kathleen said, hi, just wanted to comment on how beautiful your story was about guardian angels. I cried. My radio was going in and out when you were telling the story. My son has a severe disability, and I always pray with him before he goes to bed, and I tell him his guardian angel watches over him. Since I've heard you speak of guardian angels on the show, I have been using mine to help me in my daily work. Then she says, let me tell you some beautiful stories. I have been able to provide things to other people in my work that need it at the exact time I show up. I often hear from others, often you have come at the perfect time. Just amazing. Parts show up at the right time to fix a critical piece of equipment. It just amazes me how God is able to work through me. Love you guys and know you're in my prayers. Thank you, Kathleen. You're in our prayers as well. Appreciate the beautiful email.
That was just from the heart, Kathleen. God bless you. Yes, keep everyone. Please remember your guardian angels, please. Jerry, real quickly, we've got a message to Jim. Jim in St. Catharines, Ontario. You weren't supposed to hang up, so you're on the line. Ryan says you got to call back. Ryan's clearing the phones, okay, so that you can get right in, Jim, right in. So we're waiting for you from the Station of the Cross. You're a first-time caller, Jim. If you're listening, call back to 833-288. 3986, and Ryan will be watching for you. Okay, and we're moving to Dan. Dan is a friend of ours in Tiffin, Ohio, on St. John Paul the Great Catholic Radio. Hi, Dan. Welcome again.
Well, thank you very much. So I had made mention to your call screener that one of the highlights of my week is what we call our Saturday morning men's group, where eclectic collection of men from both parishes in Tiffin, Ohio, St. Mary's and St. Joe's. We meet for an hour. We go through our prayers, opening prayers. We go through the readings, and then we just kind of like pass the hat and throw out what maybe caught our attention in a particular reading or how it was appropriate for something that may have happened during the week. And it's a very great experience. I would highly suggest any other men or women, because we also have a women's group that meets on Thursday evenings, but anyone listening, most parishes have something like it. You don't have to be a Bible scholar at all. You just come and kind of immerse yourself in the readings prior to the actual readings on Sunday, and I've been doing it for half a dozen years now. I stubbornly resisted because I had such a set schedule on Saturday morning, and how dare someone try and interrupt that schedule? Cause
right, of course.
So well. And as a matter of fact, his name is Randy. He's also a member of the group, and he listens to you guys as well. But Randy asked me 3 times over the course of about 18 months, and finally I said yes, and I went down, and I didn't know what to expect. And it's just a very nice collection of men from all backgrounds and all capabilities, and we just grow from each other. I mentioned it the last time I called, as iron sharpens iron. That's on our men's group T-shirt, and it's very true. And you just slowly let the waters of the Word wash over you, and it changes you as an individual, and I'm ever thankful for that as well.
Yeah, Dan, you're taking me back in time. I don't attend a men's group meeting right now at the present time, but I have over the years. And I remember when I had what I would call my reversion, when the Lord kind of grabbed a hold of my heart again in my early 20s. I was a cradle Catholic, but I just got really on fire for my faith and, going to Bible studies and prayer groups and all of this. And I, too, was invited to a men's group. And the gentleman, I got really interested right away. And then I said, what are the details? He told me, he says, here's where we meet. And it's 6 o'clock on whatever day of the week it was, 6 a.m. And I went, 6 a.m.? Are you kidding me? So I was going to ask you, Dan, is it an early morning meeting for you guys?
7:30.
7:30, see?
Conclude by 8:25, and then Mass directly above us, because we're in the basement of the church, starts at 8:30. We're finished with Mass about 5 after 9. And I need to give a shout-out to Debbie here. Hey, Debbie, on tomorrow's itinerary after Mass is another planning meeting for the arrival of Debbie in mid-November to St. John Paul the Great Radio fundraiser.
Yes, I can't wait. November 16th. I'm looking forward to it. I've got everything planned, and I hope that planning meeting goes well because it's going to be exciting. I just think we're going to have a great time, and I get to meet you in person and Dan, can you bring your award? What was the award you won? Because I was telling Jerry, we were talking about awards today of
Night of
dedicated
the Year or something?
Was it Night of the Year?
Night of the Year.
Yeah. Is it actual award, or did you just get like some kind of ribbon?
No, it's a rather nice clock plaque.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I actually disabled the clock part of it because it was a functioning clock. I disabled it, and I glued the hands to the time 9:11 and 17 seconds, because 9/11/17 is when I actually took my first degree, so I just thought that was a neat way to date that award.
Wow.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, see, Deb, the Knights aren't cheap like us, Deb. We give virtual awards; they give real awards.
Oh, I know. I know. Yeah, the Knights do it right. I love the Knights of Columbus. Way to go, Dan. Yeah, thank you so much for this great call. And you're right. Saturday mornings can be used for really deep fellowship, Bible study, understanding the Word. You're right, Dan. You're so right. And we should be using every moment to really get ourselves closer to God and more in love with God and our faith and everything. Dan, looking forward to November 16th. Please tell the planning group I said I can't wait to meet everybody, and thanks for all the hard work you're doing, Dan. Appreciate it.
Oh, shall do. Have a good afternoon.
All right.
Thank
God
you.
bless you, Brother Knight. Thank you for your phone call. And yeah, Debbie, just another note about this, as he said, excuse me, for men or women, the importance of having fellowship outside of Mass. We all go to Mass and we have that great fellowship, even though sometimes there's not a whole lot of connections with other people. Sometimes we go and we're in our own little world, and sit off to wherever we sit. A lot of us know people and we do fellowship, maybe a little bit after Mass, coffee and donuts and things, but for men to be with other men, women to be with other women, it's just so important to build up our faith. And I think of this, the 6 a.m. Men's group that I went to, which I actually did persevere in for quite a while. It was so helpful for me. And I just want to say, Dan's group, at 7:30 they get together, they go to Mass afterward. Debbie, this is for when you're serious, okay? Anyone who's going to get up at 5:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, go to a spiritual function, where you're holding each other accountable and trying to grow in your faith and so forth. That shows that people are very, very serious. I admire anyone who does that.
Oh, I do as well, Jerry. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Thank you again, Dan, and thank you all for all the calls so far. We're learning, we're growing. That's what Take Two is all about. Okay, Ryan Penny, our call screener, Jerry, he is so dedicated to all of our listeners and callers. He loves them so very much and cares about them. And he asked us to do to make ask Jim an invitation to call back. He wasn't actually supposed to drop off from St. Catharines in Ontario, first-time caller from the Station of the Cross, and Jim may have had to step away from the radio or something. So Ryan is so committed to our callers, and he says if Jim doesn't call back in the next minute, he's going to represent Jim of what comments Jim had, because, see, Ryan cares. He's a good call screener. I think we should keep him, Jerry.
I agree.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, we'll give Jim another minute just to see if he can get in on the calls, and then Ryan, you can represent. Here it comes, Jerry. Isn't this amazing? St. Catharines, Ontario is calling in right now. Let's hope it's Jim, everybody. Okay, Lorraine in Rochester, New York. First time caller, Lorraine. You get the virtual bell. We're big on everything virtual here, Lorraine. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I have 3 people to pray for. My husband, Walter, he has macular regeneration, and it's getting worse. And Ronnie, my brother, he fell in backwards, and he broke his neck, and he lives in Australia. And my sister, Eve Marie, has Alzheimer's. So I was wondering if you could pray for all of these.
Oh, yes.
People.
Yes, Lorraine, I don't know how often you've listened to the show or how long, but Take Two Family is very, very prompt and swift. And I can tell you right now, Lorraine, people around the world are taking your husband, Walter, your brother, Ronnie, and your sister, Marie, to prayer right away. We're going to ask our powerful, mighty, big God. We're going to go big. We're going to go bold, as Debbie says. And just ask most of all for healing and peace, for his will to be done. And God bless you, Lorraine, for bringing this to the world's attention, because this is a great blessing, Debbie, that we have. And that's why we're going to do, even on Monday, we do our monthly Whom or What Are You Praying For show. But as you said earlier, Debbie, we're thinking of adding a monthly kind of a more urgent prayer request show, which we're going to debut on Monday.
Yeah, it's like 911 urgent prayers, Lorraine, and these sound urgent as well. So we put them in the book. Please know, Lorraine, that you've got a prayer family around you. We believe in the power of prayer. So be at peace with that and feel the prayers, because you will feel like a little bit of a lightness knowing that other people are praying for you, Lorraine. So take comfort in that. And we're praying for you, Lorraine, because you need strength. You need strength through this, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for entrusting the things that are going on in your life that are urgent, and we do need to storm heaven. Okay, I just want to say thank goodness. Jim, thank goodness you called back, because we would have been hearing about it from Ryan all day long, and we didn't want to start the weekend that way. Jim from St. Catharines, Ontario, Station of the Cross, first-time caller, has called back. Thank you, Jim. We've all been waiting. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I was listening, of course, to your station, and I heard about Buffalo and a few surrounding areas having the America Needs Fatima rally going on Saturday at noon. Now, that's across North America. It's in each time zone at 12 o'clock. And what I wanted to say is that in Canada, if you want to find a rosary rally near you, just go to the website Canada Needs Our Lady, and there's a drop-down list that says Find a Rally Near You.
Wow, great.
And
go ahead.
So this one is, of course, this is my third year. I'm a rally captain. It's the third year here for St. Catharines. And the group is growing all the time. And it's good to let people know, like I'm going to do a little PR here and say it's at Montebello Park at the Pavilion. And we have some of our priests come out. And it's a really great experience for people who haven't done it before. And like many other things, these are the kinds of events that people need to show up for, show their Catholicism, and support their church. And I'm also a Knight of Columbus, and I have many activities with the church. But this one is really important, close to my heart, because Queen of the Rosary, that was apparently Mother Mary's favorite name to be given, and that's from Fatima. So
yeah.
So it's just trying to say, like, this is how we show our faith. This is how we invite other people to join us in.
Yeah, Jim, thank you again for reinforcing the reminder that Kelly gave us earlier. And, folks, we're talking about a little bit of our time here. So often we think, what can I do to make a difference? Well, Mary has told us what we can do to make a difference at Fatima, Debbie. She said, pray the rosary. We should all try to pray it daily. It's not always easy to do because of our schedules, but try to make time. And, Jim, thank you for that reminder. It's CanadaNeedsOurLady.org. And also, I'm on the website America Needs Fatima. They do have information about the rallies, Debbie, but not an actual location list like they do on the site that Jim gave us. But again, it should be easy enough to find. Just maybe talk to your parish and see where there's going to be one.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you so very much for making us aware of that. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you calling back. So you care, and it's very obvious. So you said that, I think you said you're a rally captain, I believe, right, Jerry?
I think he said that, in a Knight of Columbus, so Brother Knight, yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. God bless you. Have a beautiful weekend. Jerry, real quickly, I just wanted to say, I'm in Cleveland at the Rock with the final day of the Fall Spirit Drive, and I was with Bishop Perez earlier this week, and then a lot of the priests, a very vibrant diocese here in Cleveland. They have a local seminary here and seminarians, and everybody is just on fire for the faith. And the conversation, Jerry, here's been the conversations we've been having, is that it's really time. It's time. We as Catholic Christians, we as authentic Catholic Christians, stand together and really come together, support one another in prayer, support each other in ministry, and really, really come together as the body of Christ. That's what I learned this week here at the Rock, and I've known that, but it just got reinforced, Jerry.
Yeah, it's a Catholic moment for sure. And it's time to stand up, speak out, and not be ashamed to be Catholic, and to live our faith zealously, because people are looking at us, especially they're looking at us. How are we as Catholics going to react to all of the horrible things going on within the church? Helen, thank you for your email and your beautiful picture. You were showing your horse Chance this weekend, so we pray for good luck on that. Kelly, Debbie, our friend Kelly, wrote back in again. Sunday Italian feasts were like the miracle of the loaves and fishes, she said.
Yep.
She loves her Italian heritage just like you.
Mange. Yeah, love it. And Gail, I think, was going to say the same thing from Rochester, New York. Sorry, Gail, we couldn't get to you. You can always email us. We love you guys. We just hope and pray you have a beautiful and blessed weekend. Join us for the 911 urgent prayer show on Monday. See you then.